that guy James Lipton, and inside the actor studio, he has like this huge file of index cards, and he's sort of never listening to the person because he's reading his index cards. Well, I was watching an interview with Errol Morris, and he promptly said that whenever he sees somebody come on stage to do an interview with a notebook, or a yellow pad, he knows it's going to be a piece of shit interview, and he gets up and he leaves because he knows that nothing spontaneous is going to happen. So, on one hand, this is a great excuse for not preparing. But on the other hand, I think there's something to it, and I think there's something to it that connects maybe to the documentary aesthetic that you have that maybe we should talk about. So what about you? When you sit down to interview somebody, what does your preparation consist of? What do your notes consist of? What do you begin wanting to know when you sit down as a documentary, as a journalist, as a documentary artist?
Well, let me, because sometimes I've found myself in a position of being part of a dialogue as the interviewer, and that's different from making the documentary films. Can I very swiftly tell you, which I was mentioning to my colleague Shane Bissett on the way up here, that Majora Carter, do you all know who Majora is? She's fantastic. She was for those who don't, and I didn't until someone told me, she was when they were passing the torch, they had selected, I think, the 100 most energetic environmental activists in the world to get to have the honor of passing the torch. And when they handed it to this New Yorker, she had a Tibetan flag in the other hand, and she was kind of quickly bum rushed by the Chinese, secret police, and they wrestled her to the ground and took the Tibet flag away. So anyway, where I live up in Rockland County, there was a fundraiser. A friend of mine is Tibetan and has activities going on. So they were doing a fundraiser for an orphanage that they were starting up. And I said, you know who you should really get to come up here for the evening, for the gala, in addition to the Tibetan food and stuff, is you should try to get that young woman to come up here who took the flag. So how do we get in touch? I said, I will find her. So I called her up and said, hi, this thing's going on. And I said, if you do this, I get to interview you, and I will ask you one question only, I promise. And the question will be, why did you do that? And she came up, and it was great. That's a long-winded way of saying, with documentaries, I never ask questions. I sort of feel like especially with the Carolyn Parker movie, or almost any piece. I do portrait documentaries about people I admire tremendously and I'm inspired by. So I like to think of it almost as like I'm filming kind of a memoir in the moment kind of thing, kind of a fly on the wall kind of thing. So I like to go in and just, especially with Carolyn Parker, I hope some of you will be seeing this film tonight. She's just the most remarkable woman. And you don't have to, in fact, Carolyn won't even let you ask a question because she's so busy filling you in on everything. And what I've learned over 5 years of going there, what works for me is, you got your little camera and you're looking at the person and reacting certainly to what's, you're riveted, and you are riveted. So you let them see that. And then when they finish whatever it is they're saying, you don't go next. You just shut up and keep the camera aimed at them and smile and let them, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to start again. Whether it's Carolyn or Jimmy Carter or Jean-Dominique, they're going to start again. And now you're going to get to a whole other level about what they've just been talking about, and it gets better and better. Then the dirty trick, and I'm sure there's other filmmakers here and YouTube makers, which I am here, and the dirty trick is that now they've tolerated your thing like this, and they've gone to the other level, and maybe you got away with that one more time, and then finally they go, well, like, now what, or something. So what I like to do is I drop the camera down, keep it on, drop it down, and go, that was amazing. God, that was a great run you went on there. That was really phenomenal. because 9 times out of 10, the person will then go, well, you know, blah, 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 blah. And now you're the real gold. Because they've delivered, they've made their point. So anyway, I don't ask questions. Daniel Wolfe has been my partner on the Right to Return project. We started going down to New Orleans about 4 months after the floods. And Daniel's he's a book writer. He's many things. He's also a documentary producer. We've done films before. But Daniel would have his notebook out, and he'd have his pre-questions and his things like that. And for the first year or so, I was always like just kicking him, you know, because Daniel would ask a very interesting question as soon as the subject stopped talking. And I was just kind of like, buddy, we got to stay out of it, you know. Anyway, long answer. I'll make them shorter from now on. You know, because... Nice, David. That was good.